Ladies and gentlemen, we move right along to our next contest scheduled for one fall. And it is a six-man championship contender scramble. The winner of this scramble will receive a premier championship title shot of their choice at a later time and date. Now, let's bring out our competitors.
It's a Premier Championship Wrestling first because we're going to potentially shake up the rankings of our championship division because we have 6 different athletes with 6 different goals, 6 different causes, 6 different places in their career. One of their futures will be forever altered with a victory and really ultimate power. Malcom Monroe is 3rd generation. His family is wrestling royalty in the Michigan independent wrestling scene. But Malcom seems to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder right now.
For those of you who have been living under a rock and don't have the internet, looking at this building, that's all of you. I am Michigan's only 3rd generation wrestler. I had a better rookie year than Baker Mayfield. I am the man. I am the process. Double M3. Take notes on this one. Malcom Monroe III. I know you guys have short-term memory, but I'm going to refresh it for you. Once Wave 4 came around, I packed my bags, I made it to this building, and I was the best competitor in the welterweight rumble. But for some reason, it took the office 6 months to realize that I was the best and to bring me back here to wrestle in front of you inbred Clevelanders.
On his first night on the brand, Double M3 demands a special ring introduction. We will see if his efforts in this matchup live up to the reputation and history lesson we just received. Bret Havoc, often called Indiana's best-kept secret. He is a diamond in the rough, and he is a former #1 contender to the welterweight championship. much like Malcom could use this matchup to fast-track himself to the welterweight title and skip over the ranking system the likes of Ace Perry have to work through. Bret Havoc can put himself back on the top. He's come so close to the welterweight championship, but has not held the title yet. That could potentially change if he earns this opportunity. Calvin is a bit of a, by the way, Calvin, what the hell are you wearing? To me, Calvin is a bit of a wild card in this matchup because we've seen him compete in the welterweight division. We've seen him and his former partner, Coach Valentino, contest for the tag titles. And you know Calvin's ego is big enough to think he can be premier champion as well. What do you think Calvin would do if he won this match?
Calvin is the most unpredictable. We don't know which title he'd go for, but I think anyone he would go for, he would make look so pretty.
I see he's gotten to you, too. Time to squat up. Cisco Silver's in the best shape of his career, and he's another bit of a wild card that you can see go for any potential championship. He certainly qualifies for the welterweights. He certainly dreams big. That could be the premier championship as well, and not sure if Cisco has a partner in mind, but Cisco's one of those guys, man, he thinks if you can believe it, you can achieve it. He's proven that right with some major wins in recent months.
Yeah, you never know what type of title any one of these guys could go for. We all know what their goals and objectives might be, but everything can change once you get that title.
That's true. I got a good idea about this guy, though. Certainly anything can happen, but with Sonny Defarge, ever since the month of November, he and Cornelius Crummels have wanted a return bout to the Tag Team Championships against the athletes that took those titles, that being the still suspended main event, and I will address that suspension a little bit later on, and some people have asked me, well, let's meet this individual first. Some have asked me about the future of the title reign of the main event if they're suspended. We'll get those answers later on tonight, but many people have asked about Andrew Palace because he's been so focused on helping Nick Lundell get through his issues with Dave Kitch and J-Rock. People have wondered if Palace has lost sight of his championship aspirations, and clearly not. And Marcus, all 6 of these athletes were put in this matchup through a random draw of the entire premier and welterweight rosters over the past 12 months. That's what has brought us this eclectic group of 6. It was the luck of the draw that gave them the chance. Now who's going to make the most of opportunity?
Yeah, and it's also a huge opportunity when you talk about 6 individuals in one match, because the odds of winning this match are so low when you have 6 competitors in a one fall. It's going to be who can find their way, who can take advantage of their opportunities, not just who wants it the most.
Absolutely. It's going to be a little luck. It's going to be timing. It's going to be strategy. And so many unpredictable entities out there. Palace is all over the place, man. The Spasmanian Devil, full of energy. Sonny Defarge, he can never fully be trusted with his business practices. And Bret and Calvin, they're too full themselves to really know what to think about.
Yeah, out of all of them, I think you got to give the advantage to Andrew Palace.
Well, what about this stare down? You've never seen Palace and Defarge hook it up before.
Well, I'm interested to see this as well. These two guys...
The fans want a hug.
Well, I don't think they should. I think they should just go fist to fist here. This is for a title opportunity.
Well, awkward mutual agreement. And, oh, wait, Bret Havoc from the blind side has Defarge. And Palace got pulled out as well.
I mean, do you blame them?
Not at all. It's opportunistic. And look at Malcom and Bret fly. Jeez.
Yeah, they want to make this match all about themselves and their title opportunities. They don't want to see hugs. They want to see some dives here. And I don't blame them. This is for a title opportunity. There's no time to hug.
And now Malcom and Bret are arguing over who should get the spotlight or the credit for that, I'd surmise. Palace and Defarge still out there. And the leader of the Silver Squad taking a chance. Plunge onto the floor.
Everyone knocked out on the floor here. A great strategy from Cisco Silver. We were missing one out on the floor here.
Yeah, the loudest and most obnoxious in the room. Is Calvin going to take flight?
Well, this would be the best looking dive we've ever seen. This would be the best looking plancha I've ever seen in my life if he can pull this off.
Here comes Calvin with a light saunter and suggestive pose.
Well, this is really his strength, Joe.
Well, it's not going to win him a title shot.
Well, he's one of the few people in the ring right now that actually can win one.
That's true, but here's Cisco. Cisco, never say die attitude. He's not going to kowtow to Calvin, who buries the knee. Keep in mind, these two had major issues over much of 2018, as Calvin was aligned with Katie Arquette, while Cisco Silver was helping out London Ali.
Yeah, Calvin Couture has grown so much. I thought he was going for that slingshot, but it looks like Cisco got his knees up.
Indeed he did. Calvin the worse for wear. And it's an opportunity. If somebody can capitalize here, with all 4 men still down, Calvin could get this thing. No. Well, and that flatliner.
Oh, he's got to take advantage here. He's got to get this pin, Joe. He's got to get him.
Calvin loves those style points, but it's about 1, 2, 3, and Palace saves this matchup for himself. I think Calvin thought he had this thing in the bag until Andrew Palace got involved.
Yeah, most people in that situation would. He had the flatliner there. He had Cisco Silver dead to rights. But in these 6-way matches, you got to watch your back at all times.
And the dreaded airplane spin. As if Calvin wasn't confused enough. Now Andrew Palace elevates him with a spine buster. Cover. 2 count. Calvin barely got the shoulder up, and Malcom Monroe there to capitalize on Palace's back being turned. And now an airplane spin for Malcom.
Malcom, all sorts of out of sorts there with that airplane spin. Andrew Palace is rolling it. This is what his best strategy.
Oh, cow. German suplexing. Palace ducked, and Malcom caught him on the rebound.
Malcom Monroe, you got to give him credit there out of that airplane spin to be able to get his wherewithal to hit that German suplex.
And you notice the opportunist strike when they see an opening. Bret Havoc waited for his time.
To try to steal my shine, I hate it.
Malcom and Bret, obviously when fragile egos get together, things break down quickly.
Yeah, trading shots here. I'm very excited for Malcom Monroe to debut. He is royalty, Joe. He is the 3rd generation wrestler, and I don't know why it took 6 months to get him back here.
Son of DBA, very well-known athlete in the Michigan area, grandson of the original Malcom Monroe. And Bret Havoc pegs Malcom into the ropes, the backcracker with authority. And Bret on top, 2 count only. And I think, Marcus, you have an idea of why Malcom hasn't been back. It's because of the competitive nature. It's because everybody's jockeying for a position, looking for a spot, looking for an opportunity. And somebody's got to be on the outside looking in, and it takes time to work your way. Uppercut! Work your way in. Oof, look at that, twisting knee.
Twisting knee right to Bret Havoc. And Defarge is rolling here.
Oh, and you got to believe he's thinking about his partner Cornelius Crummels, who could not be here this evening, and wrestling this matchup in honor of that team wanting a title opportunity. Cisco takes the big man over.
If you're Sonny Defarge here, this is such a huge opportunity to get back to the titles that you feel are rightfully yours. He's got just as much momentum and just as much want as anyone else.
But right now it's Cisco who has taken down 3 times in a row the biggest man in this matchup. Breaks on, look out, hard collision. Cisco came back with the elbow. And the crossbody, and Malcom involved, Calvin involved.
That's what makes these 6 ways so difficult. Even when you have everything in your favor, there's always someone right there. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit of luck, a little bit of positioning, a little bit of attitude to win this as well.
A little bit of outsmarting your opposition, as Calvin thought he had a buddy, but only for a moment. And Bret sends Malcom to the floor. Look out, awkward landing. I think Malcom may have hit the steel guardrail, and Bret on top for 2.
You can't take your time in these matches. As Malcom Monroe thought he had the advantage. Bret Havoc right from behind to throw him out. And again, Bret Havoc taking his time. You can't take your time in these matchups.
And now all 3 fragile egos get in each other's faces.
I think everyone's just jealous of Calvin Couture's tights.
Maybe they'll be jealous of Andrew Palace's clotheslines. He's leveling everybody.
And this is what Andrew Palace does so well. We talk about the Spazmanian Devil and his style. This is where he really shines.
Very first premier champion would love to be back the Aja Kong back fist by Palace. Palace will be handcuffed later tonight, but he's got free reign to do what he wants in this scramble.
This is a good strategy. This is the guy that you got to eliminate. Andrew Palace, as you said, former premier champion. He's got momentum on his side. He knows what the top looks like. If I'm everyone on this match, this is the great strategy. Eliminate Andrew Palace.
It's 3-on-1 as they're trying to choke Palace out. Wait a minute, Sonny Defarge sees an opening. What in the world is this? Suplex from way up high and Cisco on top. Can Cisco get it? Palace pushes Malcom and Bret. The contact interrupts the fall, and onward we go.
Everyone down here, Joe, everyone has an opportunity now. The first person that can get up, get to their feet, and not waste any time here is going to have an advantage. Everyone's got to feel the urgency of this situation right now.
First to their feet are Malcom and Cisco. Look out, Malcom. That combo of strikes, connecting flush, but Cisco battles back. Down across the knee. I was going to say Cisco was in the best shape of everybody because he had the most control over his landing a moment ago, but that's out the window after Malcolm's neck breaker. Here comes Palace now with MM3.
Palace with those big fists. This is, again, where Palace is so dangerous. That speed and that torque that he can get.
That high-angle back suplex, and you can feel like it may be Palace's moment. But I don't think we're going to have a hug this time around between Palace and Defarge.
And they know a little too much of each other now.
Two of the most beloved in the premier locker room. And it's Palace with his quickness thus far. Defarge, where's that huge clothesline? When he gets that momentum off the ropes, Defarge's clothesline, it's about as devastating as you'll see. but 50 Shades of Havoc springboard down with a lung blower.
Yeah, every single person trying to find their opportunity or trying to find their moment. Like I said, the urgency's got to be here, Joe.
Swing and a miss. Cisco's got Havoc. Havoc doing everything he can to neutralize Cisco Silver, but with the squad behind him, oh, Cisco caught him! That's incredible strength down with a gutbuster! Cisco on top! Cisco did it! Cisco can't believe it! Cisco Silver with the win of his career. He now has a chance for a title opportunity anytime he wants it with prior notice. Cisco Silver, what title is he going to attempt?
As you said, it could be welterweight. It could be the Premier Championship. Boy, if you're anyone in this match, I'd tag up with Cisco Silver to try and get a tag team title match right now, too.
Cisco may be the most surprised one in the room. You can see the elation on his face. Maybe nobody's worked harder to better themselves over the past year than Cisco Silver, and it shows, man. Cisco Silver could have a ticket to the top of Premier Championship Wrestling, and he couldn't be happier. The Silver Squad, many of them still on their feet. If you were going to look at this on paper, you'd consider Cisco a dark horse at best in this match. But after all of that effort, after all of that unpredictability, Cisco gets the job done, man. It may only be a matter of time before we're calling Cisco Silver a champion.